When Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham stepped onto the court that night, no one expected a spectacle.
Drives, spins, gets inside, gets the and one. Mid-second quarter, Clark pulls up, nails a triple over Breanna Stewart. Look at them having some fun out there.
It was supposed to be just another game, but that's what made what happened so extraordinary. What unfolded was a game of pure confidence, on-court chemistry, and unrelenting dominance. The Indiana Fever, led by Clark's fearless eye poker and Cunningham's savvy leadership, dismantled their opponents, Jacy Sheldon and Marina Mabrey, piece by piece. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The Fever are here to stay, and they're not afraid to show their teeth. As the buzzer sounded, fans erupted, and sports pundits collectively gasped. This was worse than a rout. It was a declaration of intent. And tonight, every heart in the crowd, every player on the floor, felt it.
Gets it back, does this. 34 points out of Sabrina. Liberty trying to come back in this one. Later in the quarter, Clark gets to Lexi Hull, who finds Aaliyah Boston for the layup. Fever back on top. Next Fever possession. Clark dishing it to Boston, fakes the pass, goes in for...
Setting the stage, a rivalry merging past and future. The backdrop to this drama was more than a matchup. It was a perfect storm of storylines. Caitlin Clark, the NCAA phenom turned rising WNBA star, was facing off against Jacy Sheldon, the fiery freshman from Ohio State, someone Clark once called a tough next challenge. Sophie Cunningham, the seasoned vet, provided wisdom and grit. Opposing them, the experienced clutch shooter Marina Mabrey and the relentless Sheldon, eager to prove herself in her rookie debut. Fans labeled this clash the Midwest grudge match. It was a meeting of established talent and hungry new blood, seasoned strategy, and raw ambition. And it all played out under the bright lights of a packed arena. The tension wasn't just tangible, it charged the air, electrified the fans, and primed everyone for a game that no one would forget.
Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark connects!
The young one here, Caitlin Clark, just dancing with the basketball, going to her left, stepping into it.
Back Benley. Here's Clark, a good look from...
First quarter fire, Fever set the tone from the opening tip. Caitlin Clark pushed the pace. She baited defenders with a bold stare-down eye poker in full effect, then launched into her trademark step-back three. It splashed through the net, and the crowd lost it. On the other end, Jacy Sheldon tried to match the aggression, but Cunningham cut off lanes with veteran instincts, forcing a difficult fadeaway. Indiana surged ahead, 26-18, with the Fever defense smothering penetration. Clark then found Cunningham on a backdoor cut, and her layup sealed the quarter. Throughout, Sophie showcased that coachable hustle, diving for loose balls, setting hard screens, finishing at the rim. It was clear from the first 12 minutes that this wasn't just a game plan, it was a blueprint.
Caitlin Clark does not need much space here.
Is this shooting? That was a wild sequence there. Clark the switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple. Turns, ducks in, back Benley stays with her, blocked from behind, that was Clark.
Second quarter class, mid-game domination. With a 10-point lead early in the second quarter, Indiana turned up the pressure. Clark grabbed an offensive rebound, nudged her way down court, and laid in a spin-move layup while drawing contact. The roar from the stands was deafening. Sheldon, visibly rattled by the explosion, responded with a drive to the cup and a free throw, but Cunningham answered with back-to-back threes, keeping the sky off balance. Then came the moment of the night. A no-look assist from Clark to Cunningham, whose catch-and-shoot triple sent the Fever into halftime up 54-43. Between the buzzer and the bench, Clark locked eyes with Sheldon in a micro-battle of wills, and the freshman blinked first. That exchanged glance said it all. Indiana wasn't just winning, they were in control.
Now Clark looking to push, cross-court pass. Pull, back to Clark, she will launch and bury it for the second quarter, and Clark doing it with some defense.
Third quarter resilience. Answering the moment. Heading into the third quarter, Chicago refused to go quietly. Mabrey opened with back-to-back threes, slicing the lead to 5. Sheldon followed with a spin move and bucket, making it clear this was still a battle. But Indiana responded with 2 words: resolve and retaliation. Clark exploded with 8 quick points. A crossover into mid-range jumper, a spin into the paint, and a no-look assist all in under 2 minutes. Moments later, Sophie leaped to contest Mabrey, blocked her shot, and sprinted coast to coast for an and-one finish. The lead jumped back to 15. The arena pulse rose as Fever fans sensed a turning point. The message was unmistakable. Every time Chicago made progress, Indiana had an answer.
Within 4.
Channel defense by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three. Oop, that is.
Fourth quarter finish. Eye poker and command. 12 minutes remained, but the game already belonged to the Fever. Clark activated that electric eye poker with surgical precision. She stared down defenders before dancing into step-backs and pull-up threes. Each basket came with a deliberate glance. This one was hers. Cunningham, meanwhile, turned anticipation to action. 4 steals, breaking up Sky offense, diving for loose balls and sparking 2 fast-break dunks. Sheldon hit 2 contested shots to claw back, and Mabrey buried a deep triple to keep Chicago from folding. But Cunningham intercepted an inbound, sprinted coast to coast, hit a tough layup through contact, and winked at the crowd. That play put the lead at 17. Clark, sensing the final blow, pulled up from deep. Boom! Bullseye. Instant silence, then chaos. The scoreboard read 96-79. The crowd roared, the sky slumped, and the Fever stood tall.
One guard is just a lot stronger than the other because of her experience and maturity.
Nice look from Clark, and Smith lays it home. So you have 2 assists and a bucket on.
Post-game celebration. Emotions and quotes. When the buzzer sounded, half the arena erupted. Clark dropped 28 points, added 9 assists, and showcased passing brilliance. Cunningham recorded 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 steals. The atmosphere was thick with emotion, relief, triumph, validation. On the dais, Clark said, "Sheldon is tough, she pushed us, but tonight, we were tougher." Cunningham smiled, eyes bright. "We told ourselves we'd own this court, so we did." Sheldon, breathing deep, admitted, "We had our chances, but they played harder." Mabrey nodded. "Credit to Indiana. They were unstoppable." The fans chanted, plastic t-shirts floated through the air, and fireworks flashed on the Jumbotron. Could there have been a better way to send a message? This night would be replayed as the moment Indiana transitioned from hopeful to headline.
And a bucket on the first 3 possessions.
Quarter we have seen Caitlin Clark play, showing what made her such.
Clark, the feet underneath, back Binley working against your room. What a move!
Analysis. Naunior fuen Henry Nenser Nantir. What it all means. This wasn't just a regular season win, it was a turning point. For Clark, it marked her arrival as a bona fide WNBA star, not just a heralded rookie. Her confidence level, eye poker, fearless shooting, orchestrating offense showed she belongs at the highest level. For Cunningham, this was a reminder that her playmaking and discipline remain invaluable. For the Fever organization, that win was affirmation. This roster has identity, chemistry, and star power. For Chicago, it highlights issues, adjustments needed, mental tightness, and defensive execution. National coverage is already labeling it a signature victory, a match that shifted power in the conference and set the stage for a legitimate WNBA contender. Looking ahead, next steps for both teams. So where do both teams go from here? For Indiana, this is momentum to ride the confidence wave through the next games, continue building an identity around sisterhood and swagger. For Clark and Cunningham, it's time to double down, vault from breakout game to legend season. For Chicago, the Sky need to regroup, step back, sharpen strategies, address why they folded under pressure. Sheldon and Mabrey will bounce back, but they now know exactly what they're up against. Their next meetings promise sparks. Call to action, keep the fire burning. That was the night the Fever stole the spotlight and reminded the WNBA what competitive fire looks like. If you felt that intensity, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss more high-voltage breakdowns. Tell us in the comments, was Clark's eye poker the biggest play of the game? Which moment shocked you most? What changes do you expect from Chicago next time? If you're craving more in-depth game analysis, behind-the-scenes access, and future rematch previews, this channel is your vault. This was not just a game, it was a milestone, and your seat is reserved for what's next.
Wild sequence there. Clark the switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple. Turns, ducks in, Bagbenley stays with her, blocked from behind. That was